All right, hey guys. It is Sunday, May 15th, 2022. Crude oil, what's going to happen at the open? Well, I have no idea. Let's take a look at the daily chart. This is the same chart I always take a look at the beginning of the week. And we always point out 93 to the downside, 109 resistance to the upside. And you can see we kind of been poking around trying to get through this resistance, higher lows, two higher highs. What's going to happen now? I don't know. I mean, look at this, came back up pretty bullish. You got, looking at these technicals here, you have this flip on the MACD somewhere in the middle here. And you've got this squeeze that's been kind of blinking on and off. And in a choppy market, the squeeze tool is certainly less reliable. The squeeze tool tends to work better when the market is trending and you're catching these swings. But the squeeze tool can really help in that environment. But in this super duper chop environment, you do see the squeeze tool blinking on and off. It's less reliable. So I would just point that out. Having said that, there is a daily squeeze that, you know, it's kind of janky. When you compare it to, say, these other squeezes, like you have a nice trend, then you have a pullback right into a squeeze, and then it releases, then you get another trend, and then you get another squeeze set up, then it fires to the downside, then you get this corrective action down to the 200 with the histogram, below the center line. Then you get another trend with no squeeze, but you get another trend, and then it comes back into another squeeze, and you get another corrective wave with the histogram. See, this squeeze right here was providing very nice clues. And then this squeeze was a little tricky, but we caught it anyway. We caught this move up to there. I remember that Sunday pretty well because I was on a gig looking at my phone and got pretty crazy at the open. And this squeeze obviously was a nice clue. We traded it. And then you had the crossover entering this corrective zone that we're still in now. So that's the $1,000,000 question is, are we about to break through this resistance? This is pretty stiff resistance in here. Then you've got another level of 116. So, I mean, it made it above 109 for the second time here. And you got a little bit of a squeeze set up, but I would discount it. Anyway, technically, this allows for directly higher. Allows. Yeah, okay. So let's drill down a little bit and see what else we can look at. So if I go to if I go to this chart, a 2-hour chart, just really keeping it really simple. Trend line here, and what we're doing is just chopping along. Okay, we banged into this resistance once, twice, got a pretty nasty pullback, and then now we're banging into that same trend line again for the third time. So, some might say, yeah, this is a triangle, and we need a couple more janky overlapping waves that are really hard to trade. So I don't know. You tell me. I mean, this is a 2-hour chart, but look at where the RSI is. So whatever. I'm not going to say too much more about that. That's just a trend line that's getting hit, and we're in it right now. So let's go drill down one more level, and get into the weeds of Elliott wave. It's the way I was counting this, and I'm trading this accordingly, is 5 up for wave 1, followed by corrective action right down into fib zone that would be reasonable for wave 2, and then another clear 5 up with another pullback into another zone that you could consider a wave 2, followed by another impulsive move up, followed by what looks like a 3-wave corrective move, tag the 618. Really well. And then we have what I think is a wave 3 of this nano degree. And now here's what's kind of interesting to me. The larger degree, see this aqua looking zone? That is 618 to 764, 764, 618 of this larger idea of is this another. I mean, I think it's unlikely that it's that large of a 1-2 just because of all the chop that I was just showing you in here. But I measure it anyway because it helps my trading to keep track of where these potential pivots would be. I'm not so great at Elliott wave to really talk about the degree of probability. I'm just not that experienced yet at Elliott wave, but I measure stuff anyway because I like to know where the potentials are. So check this out. This is a potential pivot area of a larger degree. Then if this is a 1-2 of a smaller degree, that gives you this pivot zone, which is inside of the larger one. And then if this is a 1-2, it gives you this pivot zone, which is inside of that one. And then if this is another 1-2, if these are nested 1-2s, there's a whole bunch of nested pivots in here. Well, what's interesting is we've made it through 3 of those 4 pivots. The larger degree pivot being the one that we are now at the top of right now. So it coincides with that trend line. I put that trend line that I just showed you, I put it on this chart as well, even though it's on a 15-minute chart, just so you can get the context. So, man, this is really interesting. We are at resistance. We are at the top of resistance, the way I'm speculating here. So, at the open tonight, and the pressure, there's not much pressure, but there's a setup here really on the strat with the squeeze, very nano. But, that's how it works. If you're trading futures, you got to look at the nano. I mean, well, unless you can use, $3 or $4 or $5 stops in futures. I'm not that guy. I'm using 20-cent stops in futures and 30-cent stops. But this is resistance. We're at it right now. So, in this little micro nano stuff that I've been counting, all this, it's like being a plumber crawling around the bottom of a toilet, counting this nano. I've been told that by other swing traders who think this is ridiculous to count this stuff. But, I trade futures, so I'm always counting the ridiculous stuff. And we're above the lower degree resistance, but we're exactly into higher degree resistance. So if this can, at the open, if this comes down at the open, fine. Somewhere in here, I'm going to want that to catch support. My stop is below where I think all of this support is that we just got through. So my stop is based on structure. So at the moment, I'm not touching my stop. 107.70, there's my entry. So the idea would be, this could come back at the open, but I'm going to want to see it catch support overnight and get another high. And, the next major resistance, well, maybe not major, but the next resistance is, call it 113, 113.29, somewhere up in here. You got a little confluence happening of these lower degree counts. Like if this is a 1-2, that's the 3. And also, if this is a 1-2, that would be the top of that microstructure in the same region. So, right, I'm just measuring stuff. That's all I'm doing. Call this resistance there as well. So we'll see. That's the deal. Let's go down one more level. Actually, before I do that, so, if it comes down, great. Can it hold 109? Wonderful. That'd be awesome. So, it could come down $1.50 and just still be fine. But the thing is, though, and this kind of looks like a wave 4, actually, on the nano. If you zoom in, if you're a degenerate like me, and you zoom in, I could see this kind of as a developing wave 4. So maybe you get $1.50. I have no idea what's going to happen at the open, by the way. I have no clue. But if you could get $1.50 down, and this structure is fine. Thing is, if this starts looking like something different, or if it's just really coming down, slices right through, this should be support. If it just cuts through that, the deeper it gets, the less I like it. And that's why my stop is there. Because if it gets below this, then I really just don't like it so much anymore. So I won't be long. I will not be in my longs. I will take the money off the table there. Okay, so what does Strat say on the small time frame? You do have a 15. I see this all the time. It's Friday afternoon. This market it falls asleep, so you do see this quite a lot on a Friday afternoon. It just gets skinny. The range tightens. It might even be a squeeze present. Fine. It's just nothing, right? On the lower time frame, it's just showing you it's just a sideways action, nothing burger. But since I have a position, if I'm able to, I'm gonna pay attention to the market. I'll be coming out of the theater because I'm doing a theater gig right now, so I'll be coming out of the theater. But with any luck, I'll be able to be on at the open, and we're just chopping along in this little range into the close. Um, you tell me, does this just at a glance, does this look bullish? You know. But anyway, so 15-minute squeeze. So just meaning you could get something like a nice candle in some direction. I have no idea which. But this is coming down right into a squeeze. So if this fires long, that would be wonderful because all that would do is allow you to continue this histogram on the 1 hour, continue the momentum on the 4 hour. The 15-minute would just be like a little micro pump, pumping up the Momo and giving this some momentum to get above, to get headed to those targets above. Let's look at longer time frame. Daily, these are the targets I'm talking about. The daily, as I was saying in the other, looking at that other chart, the Elliott wave chart of the daily, you got the squeeze, you got the daily squeeze, but it's janky, it's unreliable. I mean, look, this is just as noisy as a drummer falling down the steps. It really is. But the structure on terms of strat, just looking at this, most recent structure, that's awesome. It's totally bullish. You had an outside candle followed by a 2, which made a new high, and then you just continuation. That's a beautiful looking daily candle. This is great looking, but the thing is I would discount this just because of the environment we're in. And look at the squeeze, it's janky, it blinks on and off. It's been blinking on and off. But I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that this is a squeeze. Price came down into it, and if there is fuel here, if it wants to do this, let's go. So that's the daily. And I know the week. Let's just for the fun of it. So we'll put this on. Daily, weekly. This should be the monthly. Excuse me. Let's just take a quick look, and then I'm done. 1 day a month. Right. So, the monthly is just crazy. Look at that. Crazy wick comes back, gives you a 2, fake out, 2 candle, but look at that wick. Comes right up into a new month. Yeah, it's chopping. I mean, this just tells you that, right? But it's making a new high. Look, it's a higher low. It's a higher high month to month. The monthly's bullish. This is a crazy wick. Look at this wick on the weekly. That's not bearish. Right? If you're into candles, that kind of wick tells you it had every opportunity to crap it. But you have to keep in mind where we're at here, and more specifically, this trend line. So yeah, that wick is great. That's the wick right here you're seeing for the week. Yeah, right here. That's that wick. So on its face, out of context, this looks pretty exciting, but if you put it in the context of everything else, we are in resistance. There's resistance right here. Okay, so, but and the histogram's coming down on the weekly, right? Look at the monthly, but these histograms, they move real slow, and it's not, I don't find these so actionable. But the point is, they are, the momentum has come down a bit on the monthly, even though the price is going higher. Momentum has come down on the weekly, even though it's sort of holding its own here. So I guess what I'm saying is anything could happen. But, all I know for sure is where my entry is and where my stop is. That's all I know for sure. But I like the setup because it's there. If it wants to take it, it's right there. And what is the setup? Okay, so if it gets, if you're a bull and you need targets, Yeah, you want to see it come up to 113, and then you want to see it hold this. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if it comes up? If we can get a squeeze going and that 15 minute can fire and the daily can continue, the setup is there for this to keep going. I mean, I'm saying it will. I have no idea. Will it? How would I know that? I have no clue. But my stop is down here. So if this wants to go, if you're a bull and you need targets, you want to see 113, and then you want to see it hold this region again. Like if it can hold it here, you want to see it hold it again and make a higher low, and then you want to see it really come up and follow these fibs, or at least, you know, try to, something impulsive looking for a wave 5. It would be nano, but I'll be looking for that. That's way off in the, that's speculation. But, and then you get another pullback and now make another higher low. And then the ultimate target, according to these fibs, would be, wow, if you could get up to here, man, that would be crazy. That would be awesome. But I don't know, man. It's kind of a coin toss. I could totally see this crapping out and just, I mean, honestly, it could come all the way back to here. Woo! Okay, man. Good luck, guys. That's the deal. I'll be watching this at the open, this range and this squeeze to see what happens. This is the first clue, the 15-minute, by my way of thinking. First clue, 15-minute squeeze. What is it gonna do? All right, guys. Good luck. See ya.